Did you know that the average CEO is making a massive mistake? And maybe you're making this mistake. Now, look, if you want to remain an average CEO, please stop watching this video. But if you want to become exceptional, you want to be potentially a 100x CEO or even a 10x, 20x, 50x like we've had, stocks that increase 2000%, massive shareholder value, generational wealth created, then keep watching. You're going to learn something. Now, the absolute biggest mistake I see the average CEO making is they outsource one of the most important parts of their business to basically unqualified people. And the fact they even outsource it is mind boggling to me. What am I talking about? If you're running a public company, you should realize that your most important, your number one job is to increase your stock price, maximize shareholder value. Everybody understands that, right? Why then are you outsourcing that responsibility to some outside firm where that responsibility is being handed over to somebody that just graduated from, I don't know, Boston College with a 3.0 average 3 years ago. And now that person is responsible for essentially maximizing your stock price. Can you imagine? It's crazy, right? If you needed brain surgery, would you hire a plumber to do that? That's what you're doing right now. It doesn't make any sense. Why are CEOs doing it? Because quite frankly, that's right, the average CEO, they were never told what their job is all about when it comes to running a public company. There's no school for running a public company, except up until now, my 100x CEO Academy, there's really no training, right? Nobody ever trains you on what you need to do to become successful at running a public business, especially in the microcap space. I don't know, maybe Harvard has a class on this now. So here's something that you probably do understand. You probably do understand that if you surround yourself with a successful team, right, your success is going to depend on the quality of your team members, right? Now, if you want to have a winning team, you want to get the best people that you can get, right? And the problem with, let's say, traditional IR, or even if you bring somebody in-house to do your IR, what are their qualifications? What are their qualifications to handle essentially the most important part of your business? It's like you're handing your children over to I wouldn't even use the word babysitter. It's like you're sending your children to a school, right? Now, listen, some parents, they don't care. They send their kids to some random public school and the kids get indoctrinated with who knows what. And they don't even know how to do basic math, they can't read or write. But that's the state of education in America. I don't know, maybe we're your country that have better education, but that's the state of education in America. Again, who's on your team? Now, here's the reality. Most corporate IR, most of these people that you bring in house, they understand the theory of investor relations. I don't know what their experience. They understand the theory, but here's what you want to ask them. Have they ever made 10,000 cold calls? Have they made 10,000 cold calls to investors, pitching stocks to raise money? Have they done that? Because then they would understand investor psychology. Business is all about understanding investor psychology. That's a big part of it, I should say. A key part of it. And somebody that just is working one of these big IR firms, they just graduated from, I don't know, again, I use the word Boston College because I think it seems like everybody in the IR business in New York, at least, it's like a second or third year school, but they have a lot of communications, PR people that come out of there or whatever. Have they made 10,000 cold calls? Have they written analyst reports? Have they written research reports that have moved stocks? Have they done that? Okay. If they haven't done those two things, you got the wrong person. Okay. You got the wrong person. It's almost like the difference between a Boy Scout camping trip and the jungle warfare, guerrilla warfare in the jungle in Vietnam, right? You guys right now are you're using Boy Scouts to be your guide in the jungle. And these Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, they're fine with a little camping trip, but they don't know about the punji stake pit. They don't know about the tripwires that are planted out there for whatever poisonous snakes that are out there or that you may be able to eat or may not be able to eat, right? So that's what you probably have now. And you're taking advice from those people. That's why you're taking advice from people who are not qualified. Would you take advice from a CPA? It was not actually, I've seen plenty of CEOs do that. So look, I'm just giving you the facts, the reality. You need to make your own decision. Now, Think about this because, again, your future depends on your stock price. The stock price is the tail that wags the dog. Now, Wall Street Portal, we have a proven system, okay, for increasing stock price, liquidity, market support. But one of the weak links in our system is, quite frankly, having somebody on your team who knows how to write press releases. We can count on to come up with ideas that we can work with, to maintain a schedule of helping get you through some of our live streams. I could put together presentations, things like that. Do you have that person on your team? Again, it's one of the weak links. We've had companies which have had great stories and the campaign was working, but if they had somebody on their team who wasn't able to put out press releases, and again, we worked with them, we told them exactly, here's what you need to do. Here are some ideas. Now, if you don't execute, there's nothing I can do about it. You got to make sure you have people on your team that can do the job. It's extremely important. And if they can't do the job, you got to replace them. It's as simple as that. What is their experience? Okay, it really comes down to it. And then I'll give you. Here's a quick test. Tell your IR firm, IR person, say, look, give me 4 press releases for the next 5 weeks. 4 press releases, not a big deal. Come up with 4 headlines, 4 story ideas that we can put out over the next 5 weeks. 6 weeks, okay? So 4 ideas over 6 weeks. They can't do that. They can't give you those 4 press releases over the next day or so. You get the wrong person, okay? Because any company, literally any public company that is not going out of business, okay, that's a low bar, that's not going out of business, should be able to. They have enough stuff going on where they can have stuff to talk about. And if your IR person is not creative enough to come up with those ideas, you got to get rid of them. I could take any company and come up with 4 press releases, any company, put out over 6 weeks. The fact that you guys are not doing that is probably why your stock prices are underperforming. Now, if you want to get on the right track, you want to become that 100x CEO that we talk about, you want to maximize your full potential, get in touch, join our CEO Academy, learn our proven systems for maximizing stock price, and you'll be surrounded by a team of like-minded peers. That's right. It's a mastermind group of other CEOs of public companies that are dedicated to maximizing the stock price, and they will help keep you accountable. Okay. Accountability is extremely important, and they're going to help keep you accountable so that you become a success. Now, are you going to become 100x? I have no idea. It might take you 20 years. I don't know. But the goal is we want you to aim high, aim for impossible goals. And at least you'll get some halfway there, maybe. Maybe you'll only become a 20 bagger. And by the way, many companies can easily become a 10x. Okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. You just have to put your mind to it. You just have to put your mind to it and you can make it happen. Look, if we put a man on the moon, putting a man on the moon is a lot more difficult than increasing your stock price by 10x. Okay. I would think so, right? Forget about the moon. What about these rockets that Elon Musk and all these other guys are launching, right? That's a hard job. Increasing the stock price 10x is child's play with that, right? So if those guys can do it, you could do it. All right, get in touch. And here's to your 100x.